So theoretically speaking, you have a database of potential crypto wallets that belong to criminals?
Yes.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And it's always updating.
Welcome back, everybody, to Legal with Ease. I am your co-host, Danny, the CMO of Formula, joined by my co-host, Vio, who is also the COO of Formula.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. It's great to have you. And today we're joined by Nasos, who is the CEO and founder of Klidi.
Mm-hmm.
And now the floor is to you. You can tell us a bit more about your background and what you're doing.
Hello to both of you. Thank you for having me here today. As you said, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Klidi.io. It's a platform built from the ground up to help businesses accept Bitcoin and stablecoins for payments. The legal way, let's say, because now there is an actual legal way.
I like that addition, that it's the legal way.
We're in the correct podcast today, yeah. We found an actual gap in the market. So we believe that we filled that gap, especially in Cyprus. We are going abroad as well in 2026, hopefully in 6 countries.
Big moves.
Big moves, yeah, but there is an actual need for cross-border payments, and that's what we do. Of course, anybody can actually sign up and buy and sell Bitcoin, but the main gap we feel is the payments part.
So how did your journey into crypto in the very beginning began? Because before we started filming, you mentioned that you were getting into Bitcoin in the very early sort of stages. So tell us a little bit more about that.
First of all, you are always early in Bitcoin. That's the first thing.
Touché.
Now, I came to Cyprus for my studies in London in 2013, and I actually started working 1st of March 2013. And don't know if you remember what happened. 15th of March 2013, the haircut of deposits happened in Cyprus, okay? A Saturday morning. That was the first time I've heard about it. But like 99% of the people who are not extremely smart and educated on how to read code, I discarded it completely. I thought it was a scam, an internet coin that's basically worthless, or maybe a pyramid scheme, whatever it was. But then around 2015, end of 2015, I stumbled upon it again. That's when I actually spent the hours needed. It usually takes around 100 hours to actually get something, not just put money in it and then take it out when it's 2x and stuff like that. Actually getting it takes around 100 hours, and I spend those hours, many more hours on that until today, but still. I have a background in economics, business and economics. So I got Bitcoin from the economic side of it at first. But in order to get Bitcoin and actually click, you need to have like philosophical knowledge, history knowledge on how money works, a bit of coding. I mean, you need different backgrounds to actually get it completely.
For sure.
Yeah.
Speaking about the history of money, you wrote something about it. I read about your how do you say it? Was it an art? It's an article called "What Is Money?"
Yeah, it's a mini presentation.
Yes, I found it very interesting how you went from the beginning of how everything started with money and how we are today with. This new concept, not really new, but
it's
new-ish
new. Yeah.
Of crypto. And I just wanted to ask you a little bit about the concept of decentralization for people here who don't really know too much about it, but it's a very actual thing right now that we need to all talk about, and which is the reason why we have you here today, because what you're doing is very interesting and very important. So please give us a little bit of a background.
Amazing question, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You talked about decentralization, and I want to start from that.
Yeah.
Decentralization can basically mean different things. Okay, decentralization of ownership, decentralization of the actual code, of how the network works. Let's start from the last point. Bitcoin is decentralized, meaning there is no central point of failure. That's a very simple way of putting it, but I want everybody to understand this. Yeah, there is no single point of failure. If I want to hack an accounting firm, a law firm, or just a shop, or any other online business, yeah, I can go to the office or where their servers are located and actually hack them. In order to hack Bitcoin, by the way, you need the electrical power of Russia, China, and the United States times 10,000 to actually have a chance of hacking. Yeah, it's almost impossible now, basically.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, because it's fully decentralized. Now,
which means that it's also very secure.
The most secure.
Yeah.
The most secure blockchain there is. Now, decentralization of ownership. 2013 again. Somebody, I'm not going to say the word I'm thinking now, but somebody entered, let's say, our bank accounts. Yeah. How could they do that? Because they have access to them. That's the point. Decentralization of ownership means that when I own Bitcoin in my own personal cold wallet, I own my Bitcoin. Nobody can take it away from me. Nobody. I have complete 100% ownership of my Bitcoins. That's another step towards decentralization for people to actually learn how to store their own Bitcoin in their own wallets.
Yeah.
In my opinion, not in my opinion, but that's actually factual, but let's say in my opinion, Bitcoin is the only purely and truly decentralized network around the world.
It's quite hard to talk about, decentralization without thinking about, like sort of addressing this elephant in the room recently with the EU and how they are really trying to centralize it. Where do you see crypto going in the next few years with that sort of like looming over the industry?
Now, the regulation, because we are actually in the midst of it now, an FYI here, there is a new regulation in Europe called MICA, the MICA regulation. We already applied. We're waiting for our approval. Now, they are actually trying to regulate basically, I mean, the regulation is like pages and pages long, but still they are trying to regulate the on and off ramps when you put in euro or crypto and when you take out euro or crypto from the centralized exchanges. That's what they are trying to regulate, because you cannot actually regulate a decentralized network. I can send Bitcoin to you right now with no approval from anyone, from a third party. I can do that.
Yeah.
Anybody can do that. I have a good story for you, by the way, about this. I was in Madeira, Portugal, like 2.5 years ago. It was a Bitcoin conference, and the most interesting talk, I mean, there was Michael Saylor there. He owns around 600,000 Bitcoin, by the way, through his company. Jack Dorsey, the CEO, ex-CEO and founder of Twitter, these kind of people. But the talk that actually struck me the most was a lady from Congo, I believe it was an African country, and she said they are basically trying to take money out of the country, and the fees might come up to 25%. They're trying to send out 100 euros, and they get outside of Africa 75. And she's trying to build a Bitcoin community there, and actually send Bitcoin abroad, not fiat currencies. That's the actual use case of Bitcoin. Yeah, no central control. Anybody can use it. It's for friends and enemies.
It's a very good way to put it, for friends and enemies.
Yeah.
But do you think that crypto could be centralized, be decentralized and also regulated at the same time?
No.
Yeah.
No. Blockchain, Bitcoin blockchain, again, because it's a massive differentiation between the others. Don't know if we have time to discuss about that, but there's massive differentiation. The Bitcoin blockchain has its own rules. In order to participate in that system, you need to agree to the rules. Yeah? The rules do not change every 2 years, like most blockchains. They don't have a team. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen a post I made like yesterday, I believe, in LinkedIn. Token, I don't remember its name, but a token that the founder said, okay, we're leaving now, and the token collapsed to zero.
I saw that post actually, very interesting.
You see, so if let's say in Ethereum, yes, Vitalik Buterin, the founder of Ethereum and the founding team, they said tomorrow we don't believe in Ethereum anymore. We are leaving the team. What will happen, do you think, to the price?
It would, it would be worth nothing.
Basically, to be more than that.
Yeah.
Because in our minds, we got used to having a person behind our investment.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is not an investment for me, but still. We know Elon Musk is behind Tesla. You know, We know the founders, let's say, of Amazon. It's Jeff Bezos.
Yeah,
we know
they
Bill Gates.
become synonymous with the brand,
Exactly.
basically, yeah.
We are not used to investing in something that has no name behind it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So basically, you trust no one.
there's this type of uncertainty behind crypto when it comes to, you know, the coins, the type of coins, which is another reason, I think, which is why many people don't want to get into it. I mean, personally, as a person who, and I'll be very open and transparent about it, I don't really get myself into this. Like, knowledge-wise, I don't really have much knowledge in it, but I'm always very willing to learn more. This is why I think this podcast is really cool, because I'm sure that there's a lot of people out there who are also on the same level as me. But I was also thinking about how nowadays we're seeing more purchases of assets through the use of crypto, like property, shares. Could you maybe talk about that a little bit, and what are the legal repercussions behind that? Because yes, that's,
I mean,
that's
how do you pay property tax if you bought a property in crypto, for instance?
So we thought about all of this when we created Klidi. By the way, for our foreign-speaking listeners and viewers, Klidi means key in Greek. Our payment links, you can create a payment link through Klidi, yes. Our payment link is created in euros. Yes. So basically, our clients ask euros. They're not asking for crypto. They're asking euros. Yes. Let's say it's 300,000 euros. When the buyer opens the payment link, they see, let's say, 350,000 USDC. That's what they need to pay. But the payment link says 300,000 euros. That's
just quickly for the viewers at home, USDC is a type of cryptocurrency. Like
one USDC always equals to one USD.
One US dollar, yeah.
Yeah. Now, when you create a contract, you need to actually write how you get paid. Yes. Now, we create a sort of pre-approval for our clients. We check the wallet. Checking the wallet, in very simple words, it means that we check of any illicit activity that might have happened beforehand. Okay. So we create a whole risk report for the buyer, even though they are not, most of the times they are not our clients. Okay. The real estate companies are our clients. That's the legal way to do it. Okay. We have software that tracks the crypto addresses that had a relationship with the address that will pay the seller, the real estate developer or whatever, the seller of the real estate. Okay. That's what we do.
So theoretically speaking, you have a database of potential crypto wallets that belong to criminals?
Yes.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And it's always updated.
Wow.
Every day. Yeah. But if you are going to do it correctly and actually have people trust you, as you said, you are a bit weary on actually dealing with these things.
Yeah.
That's why we built Klidi, for people exactly like you.
Ooh,
because you don't need to know
me.
anything. You do not need to know anything.
Okay.
You just need to know that, okay, this is the client that wants to pay. I have Klidi, that they know what they are doing. And I will get paid in euros in my bank account.
Okay.
But that's what you care about,
Yeah.
at least for today. I hope in 18 months, you actually receive Bitcoin and hold it for the future.
I also
That's the
hope
next
so.
step.
I really regret not jumping on the crypto wagon before it blew up. But
high risk, high reward.
yeah.
Can I interrupt you here? Well,
Yeah.
because fortunately, let's say that I'm in this industry for more than 10 years now. Do you know how many times I had what you said exactly now?
Yeah.
But I believe if you were entering the train of Bitcoin, 10 years ago, 2015, you will have sold it at 2018, most probably.
It's very
Yeah.
true. It's very true. I know a lot
When
of
you see
people that
prices
did
go
that.
up and you put in 1,000 euros and you see it become 4,000 euros.
You kind of panic and you want to take it out before there's another
because
drop.
you don't know what you hold. So when was the best time to sell your house or your plot of land in the Sea Road of Limassol? When was the perfect time to sell it?
I mean, when the war in Ukraine started, when people started emigrating to Cyprus and starting.
What are you going to say in 3 years? If I ask the same question in 3 years, what will you say? In 5 years, in 10? So the correct answer is never.
Exactly.
Okay? Because why? Because there is low supply and high demand.
Yeah,
Okay? You cannot create more land out of nowhere in front of the sea
for sure.
unless you are in Dubai. In Dubai, they are creating land out of nowhere. But
Exactly.
still, in most places around the world, they are not creating any more land.
Finite
Exactly.
land.
That's where Bitcoin comes in.
That's
It's the only one that has a definite supply. Okay? It's 21 million. That's it.
Oh wow.
And now we're at 20 million mined. So there is only
Okay.
1 million coins to be mined, and that will take 115 years exactly from today.
Actually, on that part, can you explain a little bit why there's like a finite? I mean, I'm just asking. Maybe
That's a
it's
good
a bit
question.
of a stupid question, but I
Because that's how money should work.
yeah.
Okay, when 3 or 4 people can create money out of nowhere, like they did in 2020, they created 40% of the money supply we have today. They created it after 2020.
Mhm.
That means 40% inflation in prices.
Yeah.
Okay. In Bitcoin, you cannot do that. So it's embedded in the code. Okay. At first, in 2009, when first Bitcoin came online, it was 50 Bitcoin per block. Okay. Let's put it much easier for the viewers. It's 50 Bitcoin per around approximately 10 minutes. Now it's 3.125 Bitcoins per 10 minutes because every 4 years, the Bitcoin that comes out every 4 minutes gets halved. Okay.
Wow.
Now, today, we're at an inflation rate of 0.8%, which is less than gold. But the important distinction to make here, guys, is that there is a concept of finite supply. Okay, it's not infinite. But the next step to that is to understand that the elasticity of supply. Again, let's put it simply. If 10,000 new people come to Limassol tomorrow, yes, they will need housing to live in, yes. So you will see developers building new houses, correct? Because then demand rises, supply rises as
supply
well.
and demand, yeah.
Yeah.
But Bitcoin supply is fully inelastic. That means that even if 10,000 new buyers of Bitcoin come in the network, no new Bitcoin can be mined. So the only way is for the price to go up. Okay.
Very interesting, actually.
Full inelasticity of supply. That's the second step, sorry.
Okay.
Now, the third step is to understand that Bitcoin is money, not actually thinking about exchanging it to euros. Yeah, that's the third step and final step.
Yeah, because
You need to
most
understand.
people convert it in the end. I mean, because
Yeah.
it's not really a common method of payment yet.
I mean, it actually is. There's a lot of crypto cards recently, like Red.Pay are doing it, Bybit have a card as well. And
Lydia will have one next few
exactly.
months.
It's a very, very big growing industry now is crypto
Yeah.
payments. But the kind of issue with that, and you mentioned it a little bit before with, how you have like sort of a database of high-risk wallets. When the EU starts knocking at your door and asking for this database, what do you do then? Do you just hand it over to them, and then do you give them the full risk assessment if they want it? Because then that is almost like crypto just being completely regulated almost. Even though it's
Actually-
not by them, it's by you guys would be like a third-party entity regulating crypto wallets.
So, will you prefer more illegal wallets or less?
I mean, I
It depends
feel
on
like
what illegal is.
it's true, but I also feel like it's impossible to have a decentralized currency without people using it for the wrong reasons, because at the end of the day, that is one of the most
They can.
attractive parts of it.
Of course.
Yeah.
You can use a knife to cook. You can use a knife to kill someone. I mean,
Exactly, yeah.
It's the use.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always is. Let's go back to the
But-
first statement I made. What was it? Do you remember? It's always for friends and enemies. Okay.
Yeah.
Bitcoin says no to no one. If you want to use it illegally, but I mean, you can. This in a decentralized way, you can.
Of
But
course.
then when
yeah.
you want to actually go in the fiat currency world and actually then exchange it and put euros in your bank or whatever, yes. Or if you're an honest person and you don't want money from an illegal person or an illegal wallet, then just don't accept it. Just use some service that actually tracks illegal wallets and done.
My question is more so, would you guys not slowly start becoming like almost like security for EU and people who are trying to regulate crypto.
But in any case, my clients do not want to receive illegal funds.
That's
Why
a good
should
point,
they?
Yeah.
And why should they? Even if Klidi wasn't around. I mean, why should they?
Yeah.
I mean, these are the things that will take crypto forward.
I mean, it's more so that a lot of people believe crypto is just tax-free money, right? So that's sort of where that issue lies. Is it's not maybe it's not necessarily illegal. Maybe you sold a watch that was a family heirloom and you received money for it, but you obviously don't want to give the government a big chunk of maybe the Bitcoin you received for it, the USDT you received for it, whatever. And then, but the EU is like, wait, that's my money though, you know? So you kind of end up in this weird limbo of how, like, if there's obviously no VAT to be added when there is when goods are exchanged for crypto, but obviously the EU want that. So it kind of puts you in a strange position, I guess, of where funds are not necessarily legal, but they're not illegal either, I guess.
Yes and no. I mean, if you don't want to pay taxes, basically you are an illegal entity or person. If you don't want to pay taxes.
Well,
but still,
it's difficult because they're considered investment taxes, no?
So what I would agree with you is that if we live in a world, let's say in 5 years, 10 years, that we go to a supermarket and pay with Bitcoin, yes, and I get taxed on 50 euros worth of Bitcoin, and then I have to do all this math in order to find out how much Bitcoin I spent, how many Bitcoins I spent, how much was the price on that day that I spent it, and how much tax do I owe. I mean, it will get crazy.
Not really like that, because I feel like when you use cards, like obviously the VAT is just included right then and there for, you know, most crypto cards. However, in the case of like goods being exchanged through just wallets, then it gets a bit more complicated. And that's why we asked you before about how do you pay sales tax on a property that you bought for crypto, you know? So yeah, like how does the government receive tax? Essentially, like if you're paying, let's say I buy a property, how
you can buy a property by paying with beans if you want.
I mean, but still, how do you?
It's not that. It's how. I mean, what was the price in the fiat currency that the land registry agrees? Which is that currency today? It's euro. Okay, so if it's a 300,000 euro, the land registry or the regulators do not care how it was paid. They care that it was a legal transaction, and that afterwards you will pay tax on the 300,000. Doesn't matter if you received beans or cars or paintings or whatever it was. I mean, it doesn't matter.
So how close do you think we are to a wider adoption of crypto?
Months.
Really?
In Cyprus?
In general.
In
general. But I think in Cyprus, many people can agree that we're very behind when it comes to adopting any form of innovation. So in that sense, what do you think? How are we, when do we see like wide, massive scale adoption of crypto as the main currency that we use?
So first of all, I hope it's not a crypto adoption. Again, it's a Bitcoin adoption, okay?
Yeah.
Because it's, again, let's go back to the example I gave with that coin. The founders left, the coin went to zero, okay? And we have the history, unfortunately, in Cyprus with the passports and all of that, and the Al Jazeera documentary and stuff.
The most embarrassing moment.
Yeah, okay. So if regulators see this, please just actually regulate the important things, please. Okay, let's. If you are going to put some regulation, take advice from people who actually understand Bitcoin first of all, and secondly, treat Bitcoin as if it's a very important sector. Both in the economic terms or tourism, or I mean, we're trying to get Bitcoin and Cyprus to become a Bitcoin island. Okay, that's the main goal of Klidi, one of the main goals. Okay, in order to do that, you need to come with Bitcoin in Cyprus and get permanent residency. You know, with your Bitcoin. That's one goal we have. Maybe if you don't want to sell your Bitcoin, so you don't want to pay any tax. Yes, don't sell it and take a loan for it. Yeah, mortgage your Bitcoin. If you have 10 Bitcoins today, it's 1 million. In Klidi, let's hope we'll build in 2026, but most probably will be 2027. We'll have a Bitcoin-backed loan product where you will receive, let's say for $1 million, you will receive around 400,000 euros in your bank.
Wow.
Or USDC, whatever the client wants.
That's a really
so you don't
cool
need
concept.
to sell your Bitcoin. But we need partners for this. We need the banks to be onboarded with this, you know. But trust me, if you believe we are a lot of steps behind other countries, we are not. Let's just say that. I cannot share more, but we are not that behind. Okay.
I can
say that.
There's a lot of crypto on this island.
But you just mentioned how
I'm
you
talking
need...
about the regulators and the banks and government.
Because you just mentioned that you need partners like banks. Myself, like working in the legal industry, obviously I have to talk and communicate with banks a lot. And when we onboard the client, there's a lot of like a big procedure for KYC due diligence to make sure we comply by all the regulations of the EU. But I know for a fact, through my own practice and by talking to the professionals in the industry here and bankers, that the banks here, for some reason in Cyprus, are a lot more under scrutiny and a lot more under like the watch.
Yeah.
And we all know why it might be the case for Cyprus, because of various reasons that kind
various
of
corrupt
gave us
in the past.
But this is my question, because you just said we're not that far behind. However, for you guys to have good partners, they also need to be willing to be your partners. And from how I see it, when it comes to their regulations, they're quite prohibitory in that sense. They're not really helpful.
Yeah.
So how would you overcome that hurdle?
By pushing, I'm calling them twice a month.
You need
That's
to do
one
it
thing.
more.
Yeah, I'm talking to the regulators at the same pace. I mean, there are not a lot of companies who want to do it right.
Yeah, and
so basically sometimes I feel alone when I'm pushing things. Yes. It's actually the important things. No, just regulate crypto and I want to buy NFTs and metaverse land and all these. I don't want to swear on this podcast, but
no,
still.
you can swear. It's okay.
Okay, all this bullshit.
Yes.
Okay, it's all bullshit. Okay, trust me. I'm trying to save people time. I did everything in this industry. Yes, I was, I believe, one of the first 1,000 people in the world that actually bought NFTs and metaverse land and all these things. I used DeFi. One of the first people. I did everything. I mean, it's not like I don't have the experience on anything else. That's why I'm a Bitcoin maximalist. No. I used everything, and then I understood that only Bitcoin matters. Yes.
Yeah.
All the other coins, just I put in €100 and I want 200 back. Yes.
It's just gambling a lot. A lot of crypto is just gambling, and I think that's what's given it a bit of a strange reputation with a lot of banks and stuff, and it's ruined the reputation for the things that are actually like the stable coins, Bitcoin as well, like things that actually have a lot of use. It's given it a bad reputation in the sense of like the banks look at it now and they think, oh, it's high risk, it's whatever, and they don't see the potential.
That's what they likely did though. I mean, we send millions to, let's say, JP Morgan in Switzerland. Why? Why did they accept money from us? It's because we are not in support of all these things. Yes?
That's good.
We
It's
don't
good
have
to separate yourself
trading,
from that.
leverage.
Yeah.
We don't support that. We don't have it on our platform. Yes.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, we don't support any coins. We just support Bitcoin and stable coins for payments. That's it.
That's good.
Yeah.
No, no Trump coin. No.
No exactly. No dog coins or whatever.
No shit
the
coins.
shit coins.
Yes. Exactly. But this is what the banks need to see.
Yeah.
Yes, and to understand. It's a separate thing to use the word crypto and a separate thing to say Bitcoin stable coins.
But
yes.
Unfortunately, sorry to interrupt you, unfortunately in Cyprus we're a bit of a, and I'm going to say it in Cypriot, τις παλιάς κελές, which is old head
the old
mindset.
Yeah.
And I mean, coming from an AI startup in legal and trying to sell a product to lawyers, we witness every day how hesitant people are to adopt an AI tool in their work environment, even though it can make everything about their work a lot more efficient and improve client satisfaction at the same time. So
I believe in, at least in my opinion again, why Klidis is succeeding. I hope it succeeds in the future as well. One of the reasons, and I believe it's the most important reason, again, is that we built a platform that you don't need any crypto knowledge to use it. None.
yeah.
I mean, if you have a Klidi account and you have a Klidi account, you can send each other Bitcoin for free, yes, just by using an email.
There's no gas fees?
No.
How
We take it upon us. So we created a platform again that you don't need to know about gas fees. Your accountant doesn't need to know about gas fees.
For the listeners at home, gas fees are usually, it's a small fee that normally a lot of exchanges just
Or
give
a
you
very
a small
high fee.
Or yeah, sometimes it can be very high actually, that's
Yeah.
true. It hasn't been very high for a while though, but
because there is no usage to other
Yeah.
blockchains except
it's just like a small fee that you, like a small transaction fee a lot of exchanges will take. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Again, we're making it easy for accountants now. We have Bitcoin accounting statements on
wow.
Clivi. So your accountant can easily understand what you are doing. Yes. You can just give him a PDF or an Excel spreadsheet and he will understand everything.
That's very impressive.
Yeah. That's the small products we have. And if you have like 7 or 8 small products, because you cannot really reinvent the wheel, yes, but you can actually invent things that help people understand the industry and use and be part of the industry. Again, coming back to your point about AI, imagine saying to someone, I have a thing, it's around a ton, and you can move around, but if you are close to a fire, you can get burned. That's a car, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't say it that way.
Yeah.
This thing helps you go from A to B faster than a donkey.
Yeah.
That's the way we should talk slowly
Yeah.
about, because you are an AI startup, yes? I mean, if you say AI to people now, they might get a bit wary. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean cross-border payments. I'm making it easy for people to send cross-border
That's
payments.
why we need to put more effort in educating people, because, for example, our company, how it differentiates to all these other AI companies that don't have good security, is that we implement a model that we build in-house that never processes any confidential information and that doesn't put any of that information at risk of being exposed.
Because I've heard about it like 3 or 4 months ago,
Yeah.
that whatever you say to OpenAI can be
Yeah.
used against you in the court of law.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it already happened in the United States. A few weeks ago, Deloitte was fined in the millions by the government in Australia because they made a lot of mistakes using AI on some of the reporting. So obviously the reputation of AI isn't doing that well, but that's why you have to speak to people and educate them about what you're doing and how you're revolutionizing work for each industry.
It depends on who you talk to, by the way, yes? I mean,
Yeah.
if you talk to a 65-year-old that
For sure, but
sends letters
yeah.
still and not emails.
But that's not the people you target. You target the younger generation, the ones that try to make a difference. And slowly that can be used to lead to more adoption, wider adoption.
I agree with you about the education part, but I disagree with it a bit as
Why?
well. I said this in a panel I was on a real estate event in Malta, and the other guys said the same thing basically about education. But in Clivi, we believe education is important, but like 10-15% of the whole picture. The rest 85% is to use the platform with no education. You just need to understand why you use it. Okay, that's the first step. To imagine needing to know how electricity works.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you
And
just
I
want to
don't
switch on your lights.
I just know the problem, which is darkness, and the solution to be easy. Yes. If you know these two things, then you can educate yourself if you want about copper wires, and then solar if you don't want to pay a lot
No,
of.
for sure.
But,
But
you
still-
should, but you should still also know that when your electricity goes out, how to go to your circuit board and switch, flip the switch as
Yes.
well. So, like you
That's
said,
why I
it's
said-
important to a certain point.
Yes,
Yeah.
up to a certain point. yes.
Maybe
But we need
not-
products around everything.
Yeah.
And any idea needs products around it that makes it as simple as possible. That's
For
my
sure.
view.
But that's
Yes.
also a form of education, because the best form of education is simple
Because
education.
most of my clients don't want to know about Bitcoin. I hope they did, but they don't.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Today,
Wow.
yes. I
Okay.
hope we can change that. But they don't really want to know. They want to know that it's legal. They want to know that we check the wallets. They want to know that the euros will end up in the bank. That's all they need to know.
To be fair, I've also heard a lot of stories of people saying, like, at conferences I've been to and stuff like that, that they don't really care about crypto. They only care that, like, if they sell a watch or a car, they can get USDT and then they can use a card and they can spend it, like, as if it's normal money. They don't really care about the ins and outs of investment or you know, for them it's just a simple, they just want to use it like any other currency.
Yes, because they don't know what money is. Because euro's value is as important as the next guy who accepts it. That's it.
Yeah.
If we all stop accepting euros value goes to zero. Yes, it has no intrinsic value. There is no gold behind it, no gold reserves behind euros, nothing.
Where do you think that lawyers fit into this in the future? Because obviously now we're at a strange time where there isn't really a specialization for things like crypto and AI in these growing sectors. However, these are things that in the future they will have to know quite a lot of knowledge about. So how do you see crypto shaping the law industry in the next 5 to 10 years?
The law industry.
Like, as in, do you see lawyers having to specialize in crypto, or do you see it more as like it would be something they'll just have to know about?
Like 5-6 years ago, I used to think that maybe smart contracts can take lawyers' jobs and stuff like that. They can't.
Why?
Because they are very easily hackable, and just a few people around the world can actually build them correctly. And still, if you build them correctly, maybe next year it will get hacked. So it's not a feasible way and a scalable way to go forwards. Yes, and then it's the same with AI. Yeah, I've seen a law firm abroad. It was a well-written, let's say, post on LinkedIn. Okay, that basically said that whenever we understand that our clients come in with papers that came from OpenAI or ChatGPT, yes, we'll charge them double, just because of the work we need to do.
You're wasting my time by giving me something AI generated that you spent absolutely no time and effort to write.
And basically half of it is wrong.
Yeah, and you're coming here and telling me fix it. Please fix.
That's the point, yes. I mean, we can say that technology can fix human errors. Yes. But still, I believe there is no empathy in that. There is no human relationship in that.
For sure.
And there is no real urgency in that. Yes. Because if you need something urgently, you cannot rely on OpenAI or ChatGPT or whatever it is to actually give you. Maybe if it's something I mean, if I'm looking for a contract to buy a car or like something simple, yes, of course.
But there are a lot of people who cannot afford legal services that, for example, want legal advice, or they want to start a company, but they don't have the funds allocated or the budget allocated to spend on legal, which is a big gap that we see.
I agree.
Especially because
but this is a structured kind of thing, yes?
It is.
Okay.
Which leads to a lot of issues when these founders turn to ChatGPT or other AI models to start like drafting their contracts, reviewing their contracts, and they don't do it properly. And because of this confidence that AI gives you in these models, you have the confidence that you have a legal document that is written by a legal adjacent. And then you go and you mess up. You put your company into serious issues in the future by not having a real professional looking through the contract.
And something that might not be in law, but let's say a contract with a co-founder, let's say. That maybe something went wrong, you know, and you don't have that in the contract. I mean, stuff like that is not actually law per se, but with experience, lawyers actually can help. I don't really know the industry with AI and law, so I don't want to say something wrong here, but going back to the smart contract kind of thing and where Bitcoin can fit in, I believe the first step for lawyers is to have escrow accounts. Okay, that's the first step in my opinion. We're creating that as well in Glide. I mean, you can use it now as an escrow, but we're actually building a real product for that because there is trust involved there. If somebody doesn't know how to use it, but they want the money, they want the client, they don't want to lose the client, a lawyer that actually understands what they are doing, they can be in the middle of a transaction so everything is done correctly. I believe that's a first step.
We also wanted to ask a little bit more about your journey as like one of the final questions that we're going to ask for this episode. Can you please tell us your background before Kalidi.io? Like, why did you start this in the first place? Like, was there always this entrepreneur, you
Yeah.
inside, or
Yeah.
was it something that you read or someone you spoke to and that gave you an idea and that's what triggered it?
From a young kid, because my dad is in business. He sells auto furniture. I used to see that growing up. I love business. I mean, from cards when we were young, that I tried to sell some and all these kind of things when we are young. Then from my studies, Greek souvlaki days and Greek nights and all that. Yeah, because you see a need and then you want to solve that need. Yes. But I was always interested on where money comes from, always.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah, what is this money? Who controls it? Yeah.
Ooh, many conspiracy theories behind that, but
yeah, that's
not gonna
loaded
get
question.
But that's the point. That's where Bitcoin comes in, because it's open, so anybody can see.
Yeah.
You don't care who invented it. Some people say it's the CIA. I don't care. You know, you don't need to care. You just need to see the code.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it. But as a last statement, let's say about money, we can talk about money, I mean, and what money is for days, okay? But if we're going to put it very simply, money equals to time and energy, okay? That's it. I'm putting time and energy, I'm not putting value there, because value can go below any of the two, okay? It's time and energy.
Yeah.
You spend time and energy today, okay? And if you are lucky, you can save that time and energy to use it in the future, yeah? But if that time and energy is always discounted every year because they are printing more fiat currency, the fiat currency you have in the bank buys you less every year. Yes. So basically, a company, if we have prices rising, let's say 8% per year, for something is much more. But the company needs to at least grow revenue 8% per year. A worker needs to grow the wage 8% minimum per year, just to buy the same things as last year, not to get richer. Yeah. So you need to save your time and energy. We call that money. You need to save your time and energy in appreciating assets, limited supply, high in demand assets. Okay, that's what everybody needs to understand. Either be it gold, but again, gold, if demand rises, what will happen the next day? Miners will enter the market and they will find more gold. Yes.
But so where do you see, like, just like, so it's like a final question to sort of clear this all up. I guess like everyone with these crazy inflation rates we're experiencing right now in the general economy, where do you sort of see, like, let's say we have a repeat of 2008, right? Where do you see Bitcoin falling into that? Do you see the crypto market also crashing at the same time?
Yes.
But do you think it will recover?
Bitcoin will recover, yes. Not everything else. Because Bitcoin, again, it has value set in stone. Yes. I can save in Bitcoin for my grandkids, for my great-grandkids. Because the rules will not change unless everybody agrees. Okay. It's a certainty. Yes. If I invest in land today and the war happens tomorrow, what happens to my land? I lost it.
Yeah.
So there is no geographical risk in Bitcoin. It's online. So there's no storage fees like gold. I mean, we're not talking about 100, 200 euros here, yes? I mean, if you have $1 million, where do you put it? Where?
Yeah, exactly.
With all that's happening around the world, the nationalism that exists slowly
and
everywhere.
with the crazy inflation as well, like how...
Inflation will always be there.
Yeah, of course inflation will always be there, but it's more that it's never a good idea to invest when the market is crazy high, right? So if you took €1 million and you put it in S&P 500 today, market could crash tomorrow.
Doesn't matter. If you buy every month, it doesn't matter when you buy. Just buy every month. You'll get a weighted average and done. Just buy every month. 10% of your wage needs to go to investment. What I call it is, please pay yourself first. That's what you need to do. Pay your future self first, and then go have coffee.
Very true.
Very true.
I think, unfortunately, we run out of the time, but it was a pleasure to have you, and I learned a lot today. Coming from a background of basically not knowing anything about Bitcoin and crypto. And it was a pleasure to get to know your journey and Klidi.io. So best of luck. Hopefully one day everyone uses Bitcoin. And thank you so much for coming.
Just buy Bitcoin every month. It's easy.
Yeah.
No need to do anything else. Just buy Bitcoin every month.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. So
Thank
we'll leave all relevant links for Mr. Nasos down below as well. So if you want to check out his work and what he does, feel free to have a look at that and drop us any questions too.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for listening.